This is green screen, and you can tell because it's not a great one, because look, just look at his foot right here, how it just disappears. So I didn't do it, so I don't take credit for it, but the footage was provided to me and I am thankful for it very much. You guys should be too. We get to work with such amazing footage, and this shot is going to be a lot of fun. So we're creating this from I'm the Only One with Justin Bieber and DJ Khaled. So this is that look, like a super saturated. There's so much punch, and then you got sort of like a natural look, you know? This is like, this just looks, it's well balanced, and then there's just a lot of pop in that. So we're just gonna start off by our usual, some contrast, some curves, whatever we need to do to get there. So I'm gonna raise it up a little bit first of all, and then I'm gonna bring down the highlights a little bit because I'm just looking at the highlights in the other video and kind of want to match that. And now I'm going to start adding contrast, and then as I'm adding contrast, I'm going to raise my blacks a little bit, not too much, keep the contrast maybe here somewhere, and then I'm going to raise my gamma. I'm going to bring my gain down. I'm going to raise my gamma, I'm going to bring my gain down, I'm going to add more contrast. And I might park it somewhere around here. So we went from this to this, and that's great. And now what I want to do is just give it some saturation. Pull it back somewhere around here. And now I'm just gonna try to bring it all together as much as I can with my primaries, and then we're gonna go in and fix it. So first of all, I'm just seeing a lot of green in the lower mids and midtones, so I'm just gonna counter that. I'm gonna bring my lift up and test it out where it should be parked, and then I'm gonna leave it somewhere around here for now, and then I'm going to take my gamma and I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to see if I can come close to that Quavo's skin tone. And I might be getting somewhere. And then I'm just going to balance that with my lift, and that's looking about right. So let me see, maybe somewhere around here. And then I'm gonna take my gain and just warm it up a little bit. Something like that. So now I'm kind of looking at it and I'm seeing like some of this color is coming through. You know, just yeah, so there's some similarities that are happening. Some colors are coming through. The skin is somewhat working, not really, so I'm gonna have to work on that, but we're getting somewhere. We got a lot of our contrast. Like, we opened up the image quite a bit, which is going to be very helpful. So now that we're here, let's get going. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to try to grab his skin in that one. So let's go, boom, grab his skin qualifier, and then there you go. And as expected, so I'm just gonna move this around. So this is where not having the 16-bit image is kind of hurting us. So we're just going to keep playing around with it until we get to a point where we get somewhere half decent, even something like that. So what I want to do is now just give it a lot of blur and then play it through. So that is not bad. And now I'm just going to go here and try to give him, bring him out first of all. So just bring him out like that a little bit. So I mean, he came out quite a bit. And then after that, let's just give him that Quavo juice. I'm going to take my gamma and just start moving it towards red. And then I'm going to take my gain and do the same. And then there's a lot of softness here too. Like if you look at it, so I'm going to soften it up because that's going to even out everything. And now if I look at it, it's doing quite a bit, and it's clean. Now it's giving a lot of it to our girl too. So to control that, I'm gonna do this. Look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create this and go to our windows, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move it over here, and I'm gonna use it like that. So basically, let's see how it works. All right, so I like that. It's working nicely. I'm gonna pull that back and then look at this image and what else do we need. So I'm gonna create another parallel node, and in that one we're gonna pull our grass, spread it out, something like that is good, and it's pretty solid. It's like holding on to it, and then we're just gonna start giving it that color. So I don't add saturation, that just creates a lot of artifacts and stuff. So just use your primaries wheel and take it wherever you want it. So in this case, I'm gonna take it, I'm using my gamma as you can see, and I'm just moving it where I think they're keeping their, and I'm gonna take my gain and kind of move it in the same direction too. So I mean, we were able to create quite a bit there. Just look at there, right there, and then what we're doing. Really nice. So that all looks really nice. Now we have to work on the sky. So I'm just gonna go ahead, create another parallel node. And what I want to do in this node is grab just my highlights. So watch what I do. I'm gonna go and hold that around 8-ish, and then I'm just gonna go pull just the craziest whites like that, and then I'm gonna try to give it this just a little bit, not too much. And let's see if we're doing anything besides damaging our image, and I can just add a lot of blur and try to blend in a little bit better. And then what we can do is I can just create another one of these and move them up and down like that. So then I'm just adding a little bit, and then what else I want to do is I want to cut that out. So I'm just going to go here and reverse it. If you want to reverse it, hit this guy right here. Now that is going to be removing all of that. So I can do this, and now if we see, it's very gentle and it's only spreading here and not over there. And now if I just bring in my other clip, make it big, and now we got really close. We started here and then fix the skin, gave it a lot of juice. I think I can maybe desat the skin just a tiny bit. Yeah, I'm gonna desat the skin a tiny bit, but the grass is looking perfect, the sky is looking perfect, the contrast is on point. And yeah, I'm just gonna go in, grab the skin and just dial it back a little bit. I think we might have pushed it a bit too far. That's a little bit better. So that's it. So this is I'm the One, and one more shot to go in that, and that's gonna be our last shot for the music video section, and it's gonna be this guy right here. So basically our focus in this one is gonna be take all the highlights right here, all the highlights that are there, to give it that warmth, and then keep our whites pure white. And that's going to be the different and tricky part here, because when you take your highlights and you give it that warmth, then how do you take your highlights, high highlights, and then keep them white? So that's what we're going to work on, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we're just going to, you know, keep the pop in everything else and make the greens really green, and then that would be that. And again, the idea behind these looks for this music video is balance it out and then give it a lot of saturation. So we're gonna start off as we usually do, just by creating our contrast. So I'm gonna raise my gamma quite a bit, and then I'm gonna bring my gain down, and then I'm gonna start adding contrast. And then I'm gonna bring the gain up a little bit more. Gamma down, gain up, contrast. Because there is a lot of contrast in this music video. So right hand side. So for now I'm gonna keep it here, okay? Then I'm gonna show you another trick to bring our highlights back up, but let's raise the gamma up a little bit. Okay, somewhere around here. Now what I want to do is take my gain or take my saturation and crank it and see what happens, and then I'm gonna just dial it back. Somewhere around here, so like 73-ish. Maybe pull it back a little bit and just make it 70. Something like that. That's fine. And then I'm gonna start dialing it in. So the essence is a little bit on the red side, and I'm gonna try to show you a different way to do it. So let's go in here in our curves, and I'm gonna crack these open. And then once we do that, if we want it to be a little bit more red and less green, we can try doing this. We can try reducing the green a little bit and just look what's happening to the skin tones there. Actually, you know what? For the sake of like just using curves, I'm gonna do these on a new node. So I'm gonna create a node so then we can on and off and just like switch it, and then so you guys can see what's happening. So I'm gonna bring the greens down. And just look what's happening. We almost got there. Just look at this to that. Yeah, we did it in one shot. We did it in one shot. Even look at the whites and these whites. This all happened in one quick, swift move. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't overthink it. There are all these tools, and that's why I want to show you different tools for you to start making sense of what to use when. And just with one tool like that, without getting in there, messing with all these and see like what's gonna stick, we just did one quick swift move and it put us in the ballpark. Now what we can do, one more thing, is I can go into my red. Actually, you know what? I can go into my yellow because I can see that it's also a little bit on the yellower side. Just a tiny bit. So I can grab my yellow and pull it down just a notch, not too much, because I'm just looking at his skin tone. Like just almost right here. I'm just looking at Justin Bieber's skin tone, and we still got that in our tiles right here. We still got the clean, maybe not so clean anymore. So I'm gonna take that back a little bit, park it somewhere around there. And now we're seeing that. This is looking clean. This is looking very, very clean. Let's play it through. Oh yeah. Like in 2 nodes, we're just almost dialed in. We're almost there. Now what I want to do is I want to create a parallel node, and I'm gonna pull my skin. So I'm just gonna go here and I'm just gonna grab it right here, and this should be able to grab most of them. And then alright, so it was able to grab most of them and successfully. So let's just play it through, and it's pretty clean. And now we can just pull this up, and I know that again we can just use our curves and give it that juice. So I can just go again into magenta and pull it down, and I can go into my blue and pull it down. I think we can give it a little bit more magenta. I'm just looking at her. Yeah. And then because we got girls, I'm just gonna go and give it a lot of, I'm gonna pop this open and I'm gonna give it a lot of mid detail. I'm just gonna bring that back, because we know how it smooths everything out. So we're gonna do that and just look at it. So it just softens everything out. Any discoloration, things like that, it takes care of it. But now one thing that's happening when we're looking at it is that there might be a bit too much magenta. So I'm going to take my green and I'm going to pop it up. Somewhere around here. And like, look how smooth it makes the skin. And this is a good view too, because it like really tells us what needs to happen. So I can actually start picking up what I just did, like bring this up and bring the midtones up a bit and then start giving it. So now I'm going to use my lift gamma gain. So I'm just going to take my gain and move it over. I'm going to take my gamma and just start giving it a lot of color. I'm going to take my gamma and gain to just take it toward red, yellow in that world. And now look at it. So if I turn this off and just see how much work we did on the skins. Just look at that. Like everybody. One thing that I'm noticing is that look at what's happening down here. We're not grabbing that. So just be careful of that, and then let's go fix it. Let's figure out what we need to do. And I think that is probably the problem. Not all the way. It is somewhat of the problem, but not all the way. So what is the problem? We just got to give it. So this is something that can definitely take a lot of time and practice, you know, and you just have to put in the work. That's it. Like there's no quick and easy fix here. I mean, this just can't be clean, but it's actually looking fine. Yeah, so now it's taken care of. So it took a little bit of time, but we were able to fix it. And now if we just look at these two nodes, what they're doing everything. So let's bring this back up. And now what I want to do is I want to go in and I want to grab our highlights. So I'm going to do something like this and then go ahead and just grab the highlights. And do a couple of things. One, I want to bring it up a little bit and then leave it somewhere around here to like really make it crisp, pop it. And then two, I want to just I think the rest is fine because we're creating a natural look. I think it's fine. The one thing that I would do is I would recreate it again, and this time I will create a parallel node, and this time I just want to grab the sky. So I'm gonna try to do it this way and see if it does it. I knew that it was gonna grab all this stuff, so let me see if I can just get rid of it, if there's an easier way to get rid of it. So this kind of works. And then the other thing that I can do is at this point I can come here and create this guy right here, pull it up, and then keep it something like that. Actually, you know what? Keep it something like that, and then just do a soft feathering like that. And now I can just give it something, you know? And then so we got something, you know, than before what we had. So it just gives it some visual interest. And we went from here to here. Let's play it a couple of times without. And this is what we had. This is what we started with. And then let's just break it down. So I'm just gonna go node by node. So break it down. So this is our primary. Did quite a bit in our primaries, not gonna lie. And then we added curves to like really dial it in, and we were able to get really close just by doing a couple of quick tweaks with our curves. And then we really did some work on the skin and really popped it out, like for all the girls in the scene, even our dude back there, like just popped everyone out. And then we went in and just look at these highlights. It's a very subtle detail, but we just like brought up our highlights to just give it a little extra pop, like even down here, brought it up. And then we went ahead and grabbed our sky and brought in a lot of detail in the sky. And this is before and now after. So guys, this is the hot thing. This is what's happening in the music videos. Now you tell me if you can just go ahead and create a LUT that will do all that. So this is why it's really important to understand how all this works, because the LUTs are just not going to get you there. So the sooner you know it, the better, because once you create a look like that, you can save it and now you have it forever, one. And two, you can apply it to other images and a lot of it is going to come through, and you'll know exactly if there is a problem in the next shot and what needs to be fixed to get it in that ballpark, because you are the architect, you created the look. So I'm gonna do one more quick thing and then we should wrap this baby up. And I'm just gonna do create a super soft vignette and then go and link these now and pull this down. And I think it's kind of dramatic and it's kind of cool. So I mean, you can totally do that. It just gives it a little bit more HDR like effect, like it just pulls in more information and more focus on our girls. So you can leave it on and off, it's up to you. I'm just gonna, I don't know, I mean, I kind of like it without, because it's just a very natural look without it. But even with it, like, we don't have to go that heavy, so I can just do something like that and just keep it very subtle, and I'll leave it in. And guys, this is our look. And one more thing that I'm going to show you, which is going to be something you're going to like, and that is using your color boost. And look what happens, because I know for a fact that they're using color boost here. So subtract color boost and add saturation, and I'm going to show you what's happening here a little bit. Okay, so if I take my color boost and I go back and I subtract some of that information, then I go into my saturation and I add that saturation back in, I'm going to show you what's happening. So if I turn this on and off, I'm actually going to hide him and make this big and turn it on and off and just show you. Actually, I'm going to go in and work on it a little bit more. So I'm going to do 55 and then I'm going to go here and make it. I just want to make sure that we can really tell the difference. So in his example, it's not that drastic, but if I do this, what I think is that, because look at the hair, right? Blonde hair, blonde, blonde. And I feel like if I split the difference between the two, we're gonna be in good shape. Because yeah, if I just split the difference between the two. So in a case like that, I'll go right here and I'll just make that about 50%. And then let me make it big again and then see. Yeah, so now I'm gonna leave it on. Now one more thing that we totally forgot to do, what an epic fail, is the grass. So I'm gonna go back into my, I'm gonna make this smaller and I'm gonna go ahead and grab all my trees back there, make that wider, and then a lot of blur. And now let's go ahead and really give it this color. Just really adds to it. Like, I mean, it really, yeah, what the hell were we thinking? So that was the missing piece of the puzzle. I mean, just look at that. Wow. Yep. So now if I make it full screen, just look at that. And guys, it's all clean, nothing is jittery. You're gonna be seeing it, you're gonna get this version. You can play it back and just see how everything is so clean. And there you go. So that's that pop, that look that we created, and this is what's happening in the industry. This look is hot right now, so you either create a look that's well balanced and then there's a lot of pop and skin like really is saturated and pops out, or you create an image like we did where something like that, where you have a lot of pop but then you live in this really warm world. Guys, these were the examples for music videos, and we've already done commercials. Now we're moving on to Hollywood looks. Guys, is this Christmas or what? Because this keeps getting freaking better and better. Now we're moving on to Hollywood looks. This is so exciting. This makes me more excited than the commercials and music videos. I don't know about you, because all the Q&As that I've done, everyone is always stoked about learning how to grade music videos. But guys, this is where it's at. Just look at this palette. So I'm going to be creating all these looks, okay? We're going to be going through and creating Hobbs and Shaw which will be sort of like the modern day teal and orange look. We're gonna create really crazy John Wick looks. So this guy right here, and then this right there. So we're gonna create some looks from John Wick. Then we're gonna move on and we're gonna create La La Land looks. These two guys right here, and then we're gonna move on and create some looks from my one of my all-time favorite movies, and especially for cinematography reasons, Sicario. Oh my god, these three looks. Oh my god, I love this movie. So we're gonna create those, and we're gonna move on and create a really fun movie, also shot by the same DP who shot John Wick, Atomic Blonde, and we're gonna create these three super different looks. So guys, that's the focus of the next couple of lessons under Hollywood Looks. Let's get going.